Japan's railways are legendary, an intricate tapestry of high-speed bullet trains, bustling commuter lines, and quiet rural tracks that thread the entire archipelago. They are more than just transportation. They are woven into the very fabric of Japanese life and culture. Yet beneath the gleaming surface of this modern marvel lies a shadowy world whispered about in late-night conversations and faded newspaper clippings. Stories of phantom trains, ghostly locomotives that haunt forgotten tracks, and even some still in use. These urban legends hold a strange fascination, blurring the lines between reality and myth. From the neon-lit platforms of Tokyo's busiest stations to the mist-shrouded countryside, where abandoned rails lie choked by weeds, countless tales have emerged over decades of mysterious encounters. Reports describe trains that appear out of nowhere, sometimes spectral carriages gliding silently through the night, other times sudden, inexplicable disappearances of entire trains that no one can explain. What is it about Japan's railways that inspires these eerie stories? Perhaps it's the deep history combined with the country's love for the supernatural, or the haunting atmosphere of deserted lines where time seems to stand still. In urban legends scattered across Japan, phantom trains often serve as tragic symbols, reminders of accidents, lost souls, and forgotten pasts. For instance, some stories tell of a ghost train that runs along part of the Cebu-Ikebukuro line near Tokyo, seen only at midnight with its red lights glowing faintly in the fog. Passengers aboard have reportedly glimpsed passengers who vanish mysteriously or felt the chilling presence of something unseen. Others speak of trains running on tracks long since closed, their whistles echoing eerily through mountains and empty stations, unsettling anyone nearby. Sightings are not limited to abandoned lines. Even active railways have been the grounds for strange phenomena. There are rumors of phantom trains appearing on busy commuter routes, only visible for a fleeting moment before fading into thin air. Some locals suggest these ghostly arrivals might be linked to old, discontinued trains or represent echoes of accidents that occurred decades ago. Many of these accounts remain unresolved, with no official records or explanations, yet they persist in the public consciousness. The allure of these stories goes beyond mere fright. They tap into deeper themes of memory and loss, the passage of time, and the ghostly residue left in places where history and modern life collide. The trains themselves, powerful symbols of progress and connection, become paradoxically vessels for haunting and mystery. This dichotomy colors every tale. The unstoppable forward motion of Japan's rail network meets the eerie stillness of unexplained encounters. While skeptics might dismiss these legends as folklore born from imagination or misinterpretation, the number and consistency of reports across regions hint at something more elusive. Whether it's a trick of light, collective memory, or something beyond understanding, the stories of phantom trains remain an indelible part of Japan's rail lore. In the sections to come, we will dive deeper into some of the most compelling sightings and explore the cultural roots of these enigmatic tales. Across Japan, countless stories of phantom trains trickle through local communities, each adding a distinct flavor to the broader legend. In the rural stretches of Hokkaido, for example, there are tales of ghostly trains running along abandoned lines that once connected remote villages. Folk there speak in hushed tones of trains appearing on foggy nights, their headlights piercing the mist with a cold, unnatural glow. Witnesses describe a strange silence enveloping these trains, save for the faint clatter of wheels on rusted rails. No matter how long they watch, these spectral trains never linger, fading like a dream before they can be touched or photographed. These stories fade into the realm of whispered folklore, passed from elder to younger generations as a cautionary reminder of nature's reclaiming of forgotten human paths. Far to the south, near the bustling port city of Nagasaki, another type of phantom train legend persists. Here, locals tell of a rumbling freight train that vanishes just as suddenly as it appears, stirring unease especially among night workers and late-shift commuters. Some claim this apparition is tied to tragedies during Japan's industrial growth, when laborers lost their lives building the rail network. In urban centers like Osaka and Tokyo, the tales adapt yet again. The legend of the Cebu Ikebukuro Line ghost train that appeared in the previous section is just one example. Another involves the Yamanote Line, Tokyo's famous loop route. Rumors here speak of trains that should not be there at all. Phantoms visible only briefly through station windows, silhouettes of passengers dressed in outdated clothing, some said to be victims of past rail accidents. These urban legends are fueled by the very nature of city life. Crowded platforms, bustling schedules, and the constant rush amid fleeting glimpses that can easily be misread or magnified by anxious imaginations. Japan's love of ghost stories, or kaiden, plays a crucial role in shaping and sustaining these tales. For centuries, supernatural encounters have found their way into folklore, often featuring trains as eerie settings, a place between worlds, carrying lost souls or bridging past and present. The railway system, a symbol of modern progress, contrasts sharply with these timeless narratives of the uncanny. Moreover, trains hold a unique cultural significance tied to memory and transition. The rhythmic sounds of train travel can evoke nostalgia, while the stations themselves become communal hubs charged with emotional energy. When tragedy strikes on or near railway lines, a derailment, an accident, or a sudden closure, the community's collective memory often transforms into legend. Over time, local retellings amplify details, weaving rumor with imagination in a feedback loop that enlivens these ghostly stories. This evolution reflects a shared need to explain the unexplainable, to find meaning in loss and change. While investigations often find natural explanations for reported sightings, playing tricks of the light, sound echoes, or misidentifications, the persistence and consistency across varied regions suggest these legends serve a deeper cultural purpose. They allow people to connect with history, to confront anxieties about mortality and technology, and to keep alive the memory of those who vanished along the rails. The enduring mystery of Japan's phantom trains invites many possible interpretations, yet concrete evidence remains elusive. Psychological factors could help explain why so many people report sighting these ghostly locomotives. Our minds are naturally wired to find patterns and meaning, especially in ambiguous settings like dimly lit stations or fog-covered tracks. Under conditions of stress or fatigue, eyewitnesses might experience hallucinations or misinterpret ordinary sounds and sights. The rhythmic clatter of rails, flickering lights, or distant echoes can easily be transformed by imagination into ghostly phenomena. Collective memory and suggestion also play significant roles. When stories of phantom trains are already circulating within a community, people may be more inclined to perceive something unusual, interpreting ordinary occurrences through the lens of legend. This feedback loop between expectations and perception keeps the tales alive, blurring the boundary between reality and myth. Cultural context is equally crucial. Japan has a rich tradition of ghost stories, or kaiden, which often explore themes of loss, unfinished business, and the thin veil separating the living and the dead. Trains fit seamlessly into this framework, not simply as modes of travel, but as liminal spaces connecting past and present, life and death. Historically, Japan's rapid modernization placed enormous social and emotional emphasis on railways, but also brought tragic accidents and disruptions. Over the decades, such events have been woven into local folklore, transforming the trains themselves into vessels of memory and mourning. In this light, phantom train stories can be seen as a form of cultural expression, a way for communities to process grief and uncertainty in a world that often moves too quickly. Historians and folklorists also point to the nature of Japan's rail network as a factor. The coexistence of cutting-edge technology with abandoned lines, derelict stations, and changing urban landscapes creates an eerie backdrop perfect for ghost stories. Old rail routes, often left to decay, evoke a feeling of the past trapped in time, inviting contemplation and speculation. Meanwhile, busy modern stations, with their crowds, noise, and occasional malfunctions, offer moments of disorientation that can fuel strange experiences. The tension between progress and decay, motion and stillness, is reflected in the stories themselves. Despite numerous reports, investigators have found no verifiable evidence, no photographs, recordings, or official records to confirm the existence of these phantom trains. Many sightings remain anecdotal, relying on personal testimony that is difficult to verify or explain conclusively. This lack of proof does not diminish the power of the stories. Rather, it adds to their mystique. Perhaps it is the very uncertainty, the unresolved nature of these tales, that keeps them alive and compelling. Ultimately, the phantom trains of Japan occupy a fascinating place in the country's mysterious rail lore. They capture imaginations because they speak to universal human experiences, the passage of time, the shadow of history, and the invisible threads connecting us to those who came before. These legends endure not because they have been proven true, but because they fulfill a deeper emotional need: to remember, to connect, and to wonder.